Hi guys, and welcome back to GPFW. If it's your first time visiting this channel looks at everything football, looking at Europe's top 5 leagues and everything from club football to international football. And this video today is going to be 5 signings that clubs need to make ASAP. These are players that are probably going to be available for relatively cheap and they're going to be great value in terms of how good they can be for the teams, how good a transfer are they in a world of huge fees and misfires and bad transfers. These are players you can certainly go against that front and become 5 incredible transfers for clubs. So first up we have Nicolas Tagliafico of Ajax, highly linked with a move to Chelsea. The left back has been incredible over the last few years for Ajax and definitely a huge part of their team and a huge part of how well they did in the Champions League in the last few years. He's been rumoured to be leaving the club for around 20 to 25 million euros. At 27 years old, he has bags of experience, he has Champions League experience, and he's proven at that level. Obviously, the Eredivisie isn't the strongest league in the world, but Ajax have been dominating there for a few years now, and he is probably the best left-back option on the market, considering the price. And if Chelsea do get him, they'll have a hell of a left-back on their hands, and a great transfer for the fee. Next player on this list is Emili Buendia. Norwich may be rock bottom and relegated from the Premier League, but this is what makes the transfer all the more important, because he will be able to be bought at perhaps a cut sold price, a cheaper price, because they have been relegated to the Championship. He's been their standout player this year. He's been chief creator. He's been a tackler in midfield, and his position of centre mid, number 10, or on the wing, he can play in a multiple of positions, and he is incredibly tidy. And at one point in the season, him and James Maddison were the only 2 players in the Premier League to have 30 plus tackles, 30 plus chances created, and 30 take-ons completed. At the time, Buendia had 50 of each in December, so that shows you how well-rounded he is. That he can make tackles, he can create chances, and he can take on players. And the only player he was behind in through balls at one point was Messi, so it shows how creative he has been in such a bad team. And this guy could be a huge signing for any club. Next on the list is Aston Villa captain Jack Grealish. The winger has been fantastic this season. He's been a standout player for Aston Villa in again a poor team. And if they do go down, he's going to be wanting to stay in the Premier League, where that is his level. And he could be playing as high as a Manchester City or a Manchester United in terms of club level. He can play at that top level, and he's shown this year that he's been the most fouled player in the league, which is due to his willingness to be on the ball at all times. The way he hides the ball from defenders, the way he shields it, and the way he's really hard to shake off. And I know he played on the left wing, but he drifts across the front line. He pulls in deeper in midfield. He wants to be on the ball, and he's someone who's had a lot of quality this year in a very poor team. And it's a huge signing if ever gets him. And if Villa go down again, it should be a slightly cheaper fee as well. Next on the list is Nathan Ake of Bournemouth. Obviously, they're in trouble at the moment. They could very much go down, and if they do get relegated, he should be available at a cut price. But this is a guy who took the step out from Chelsea to gain more playing time, and he did do that. And since then, he's probably been one of the best centre backs outside the top 6 clubs, and he's ready to take that next step now in his career. In terms of playing at a higher level, which he is capable of doing. So he's great on the ball, he's good in the air, he's good at both areas of the pitch. He's not a rash defender, and he's someone who can definitely play at a much higher level. So clubs like Arsenal need a centre back, even Tottenham especially. He could play in those top 6 clubs now. I think he's ready to make that step up, and he seems that a player is too good for Bournemouth, and if they go down, there's no way he's going to be in the Championship next year. But not least is Donny van der Beek of Ajax. The Dutch midfielder has been a revelation at the club in the last few seasons, as most Ajax players have been. He has been a key player in that central midfield role. He's very much a box-to-box midfielder, and he's someone who he's got so much technical ability, and the stats of his assists and goals have been extremely high over recent years. This season he's had 14 goals and 7 assists, and he's proven in the Champions League, which is a real big key area. At 23 years old, he's ready to make that next step now, as a lot of players have left Ajax in recent years. He's the next big player who can leave from the club and make an impact at pretty much anywhere that needs a centre mid who's, you know, the creative outlet and someone who can make late runs into the box and just be an all-round effective midfielder for a top team. So they are my top 5 players who clubs need to make their next signing. So that's my video on top 5 signings that all clubs need to make ASAP. Obviously, I'm not a scout, I'm not one who works in football, but these are players that should be available for, you know, relatively decent prices. You know, I know you hear rumours of people charging so much for Grealish and so much for Ake, but if they do get relegated, then the hands might be tied and they're going to have to, you know, get rid of their, you know, let loose their players for, you know, relatively, you know, good fee. And all these players should be available for less than 50 million, and then these are all players who can make instant impacts at a lot of very good teams. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, who do you think the best signing would be out of these 5? Would you want these at your club? As always, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.